Hello and welcome back to White Lines Football. Lewis again here today for the next episode of the White Lines Football podcast. Today I'm joined by Jack.
Hello everyone.
Hello Jack.
Hello.
First time you've been on a podcast in a while, mate.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long time.
How's life? Obviously seen you a few times in the Jill's videos, but
yeah,
been missing a while, mate.
I know. Yeah. No. I've been missing a while. I'm afraid. No real reason towards that, but we don't
actually like each other anymore.
Yeah, no. I've had Lewis, to be honest. I just appear on his videos every now and then, but no. It's good to be back.
Right. So there's been a few results at the minute. Like obviously we're at the Christmas period. It's not really like a weekend results, is it? It's like sort of like one or two games every day, and then a few at the weekend. Yeah. So we'll call it weekend results, but we're going to sort of go through the results of the last week, since last Wednesday, since the last podcast was up. We're going to not pick everything up. Obviously, it's the FA Cup. There's a few games in there, but we're going with... Have you lost something, mate? Or have you lost?
No.
All right.
I've got it.
We're going to start off with Arsenal versus Chelsea on Wednesday last week. 2-2 draw at the Emirates. Jack, the main talking point, was it a penalty on Eden Hazard, do you think?
It's a bit of a difficult one because, again, like, sort of when it comes to like the VAR, when that comes in as well, when that sort of decision, it's one of them things that they can't make their mind up on because you'll replay it, but it's still a case of like, it's still opinion on whether you think there's enough contact on it. Personally, like obviously as a Spurs fan, I don't know if I sound a little bit biased, sorry for any Arsenal fans, but I would say it was a penalty.
Yeah.
I'd say there was a little bit of contact. I think if that was sort of anywhere else on the pitch, I think it'd always be given as a foul, so I don't see why it shouldn't be given as a foul in the penalty area. However, there was only a little bit of contact. The fact that Hazard's, obviously the ref didn't notice at the time, but apparently, like I don't know if this is true, but he went down holding the complete other foot that he got kicked by, so there he was claiming a penalty, when actually he was holding down like the leg that didn't actually get kicked, so that didn't really help him. So it sort of shows that, there wasn't a lot of contact on him. But I still think it was a penalty.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like there was a little bit of contact. He did go down really weirdly, like you say, probably maybe holding the wrong leg. But I thought it was a penalty. It was a bit harsh, but probably fair. So late on, Hector Bellerin rescued Arsenal with a good finish.
Yeah,
Wilshere with a good finish as well. I was at Ibs' house.
Shouldn't have been on the pitch, Jack Wilshere, should he?
Yeah, controversial.
After his obviously the tackle on the edge of the box, Christensen, obviously they looked back and his left foot sort of did dangle his left foot, Wilshere, towards Christensen. I don't really know if that probably doesn't seem as much as an obvious as a dive because there was actually contact. It's just the fact that Wilshere did seem to walk into the challenge. They did say Kante and Fabregas sort of blocked the vision, didn't they, of the referee, so he couldn't really see very well. But and again, still that's what your assistant man, that's what your linesman is for.
Sounding very Spurs fanish right now. Laying into Arsenal. Quite a lot.
Well, I think it was a dive. So obviously, that's where your linesman needs to help out, and obviously, it's you've sort of had to, even if you didn't really see it very well, you've got to give a free kick or a second yellow, really, haven't you? Because he's gone down claiming it, and if he doesn't win it, then he's gone down wrongly, and he's gone down because he's diving. I suppose
that is what VAR is for, but we'll come into that later. I was at Ibs' house when this happened, actually, and when you weren't there, but we were watching the game, and it was a bit lagged, and obviously his brother's an Arsenal fan as well.
Yeah.
And his brother was downstairs, and we just heard his brother cheer. That was Wilshere's goal. And then we saw Chelsea score twice, and Ibs was suffering, and then I was texting my friend from uni, Liam, who's a Chelsea fan, and he put annoying, and I was like, I think Arsenal score. Looked up, and Bellerin just hits one in, and Ibs is just gone mental.
Oh.
So it's probably a good point for Spurs, really, isn't it? Because
I think
the race for second is well and truly on in the Champions League. Champions League.
That's true. I think as a Spurs fan, I think I will take fourth though. I think,
I think I would in your situation.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal need to stop getting themselves in that situation though. Like they were in front, just push on. Like they're celebrating the draw, but if they didn't get themselves in that situation, then they would have done better.
One thing about I remember watching that game and the back three of Staffy, Holding, Chambers.
It's awful.
It's awful. They're all so slow. The Arsenal defence, you're looking at it, when they play their three at the back, they're always going to have at least one of like, you know, one of them three, and like none of them, and like Mertesacker isn't good enough either, and Monreal sort of done okay at centre half. I think Koscielny's average, but I wouldn't say Koscielny was brilliant.
I don't think Arsenal have the equipment to play three at the back because they're just centre backs just aren't good enough. Like if you're calling Laurent Koscielny Arsenal's best centre back, then and they've got like sort of 5-6 of them, then it's not great. But I think at the minute Monreal and Kolasinac are both injured, so they don't really have the.
Oh, was Kolasinac injured? I know Maitland-Niles has been played.
Because they don't really have the. Like, would they put Maitland-Niles left back? So
no, but I think it's a case of all the other teams are going 5 at the back lately, and that's probably
he'd done it for a while though, and then he went back to 4, and it was so much better. But
and that's why Wenger's probably thinking he wants to, like, you know, he sort of realised everyone's playing 3 at the back. That's the way to go. Like,
because I think he's played 4-2-3-1 like his whole Arsenal life. Sometimes 4-3-3, but there we go. Should we move on to your team, Spurs? 1-1 draw with West Ham on Thursday. 2 great goals. It's hard to choose which one's best. Obiang was a great hit, but I actually reckon Sons was better. But
you reckon Sons was better?
We'll leave that to the viewers, listeners to decide. Obviously, you watched it live.
I watched it at the Cricketers pub, actually, in Raynham.
I'm going to give you the freedom to talk about this game because obviously Spurs are your team.
Okay, so obviously Spurs went into it like heavy favourites. West Ham being where they were in the league, it was always going to be, you know, I don't think it was ever going to be a walk in the park because West Ham's still a good team even though where they are, like London derby.
Bit harder to beat. Under Moyes, which I never thought I'd say, but I'm improved a little bit.
Spurs, it was a typical Spurs team really. It was a position dominated game, but it didn't really do the majority with it like you'd hope for. There was lots of pinball in the penalty area kind of thing. Like there's a lot of shots and there's a lot of just like along the floor, measly weak shots.
And then there was 2 bangers for the goals.
Yeah, then there were 2 bangers for the goals. Adrian didn't make many saves. You'd think he would make a lot. Spurs had a lot of shots that game, and there were a lot off target and blocked before it even reached the goalkeeper.
Did you see that thing where Adrian came out to catch the ball and he just I think it was Kiate. He just caught Kiate's head.
Oh yeah.
It's funny.
Oh no, and obviously really good goals. I know it was sort of Spurs, you know, dominated position like they normally do, sort of thing. Obviously Obiang and Son, like you don't really expect Son to have that in his locker. He's normally very, you know, ball to feet kind of guy. He hasn't really got a sort of belter of a shot as he unleashed the other day. Obiang won't hit the ball like that ever again. I don't know. Honestly, I don't actually think I've ever
He tried it against Shrewsbury. Did you see?
He
tried
wide,
it. Went miles wide.
Honestly, I don't actually think I've ever seen Obiang like shoot in my life. I didn't even know, like, you know, like he ever even reaches the other side of the penalty area. Like, you know, I don't think he reaches the final third. Obviously, that was the first time and like ever, and he hits a 35-yard screamer, and like, you know, you can't do anything about it. What did annoy me though, as a Spurs fan, was watching that lack of width. Ali, Ericsson, Son, Kane, all started, all played very central. Like it was quite easy to defend against. There was no runs behind the defence being made. He brought Lamella on, and obviously with his very weak right foot, put him on the right. He was always going to cut in on his left foot. So you know, again, that was coming.
To be fair, like you look at Salah, who plays on the right for Liverpool. Like he's always going to cut into his left. Doesn't mean you can stop it. No, he's got to be good enough.
No, but I mean, like
I know it's a lot. Like it's just show him out to the right, and it is a lot easier.
But like obviously, I know he should, if he was going to bring him on, I thought he needed some width, and obviously the fact that he was always not. It's not. I'm not talking about the fact that it was a predictable sort of move. That it was always going to cut in on his left. I just mean the fact that like I felt it was already needed width, and I thought that's what he tried to do, bring Lamella on. I thought, you know, Enkedu obviously just gone on loan to Burnley for the rest of the season. As we speak, literally just gone through. Obviously, I haven't really seen him enough to like rate him or anything, but like he's only a wide player. Like,
quite surprised as well because Spurs don't have a very deep squad, do they? Like he's on the bench quite a lot.
He normally makes a bench appearance. It doesn't always come on.
Yeah,
like he starts the cup games and everything. And
it's like the Greg Condor of Tottenham.
He's
just always on the bench but never gets on.
That is true. No, but I don't really. We'll see how he how he does at Burnley, and obviously it'll be quite good because he came from quite a high club, didn't he? So obviously going out on loan may be quite good for Spurs, but that's another player who's sort of got to fit in on the bench really, because he's sort of always in the squad, even though he isn't really a main starter and a main player that everyone knows. So you know, like, do they really have the squad to like loan players out? Is he going for someone in January, Pochettino? Like,
people coming in maybe.
Maybe.
Back on the game though, like I think where Spurs are, West Ham are a team that Spurs have got to be beating. Like the teams around them would have looked at that as a good result, rather than Spurs have got a point. That's good.
Definitely.
Yeah, but another team around Spurs' area, although it was a different competition on Friday. Liverpool kicked off the FA Cup weekend with a 2-1 Merseyside derby win against Everton. It was a good game actually.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk's debut, obviously that's the main talking point. Came straight in. He got his goal at the end. It's questionable goalkeeping by Pickford.
Very questionable, yeah.
He's a good keeper.
You could tell
Pickford,
afterwards that he sort of looked really annoyed, didn't he?
Yeah,
Because he thumped the ground, didn't he?
Yeah, obviously he came out trying to punch the ball, but nowhere near it. Van Dijk sort of closed his eyes, stuck his head on it, and it went into the goal.
It's like most of the Gills players when they headed the ball.
Not Zakwani though.
No, obviously not.
He's our friend.
No.
He's not. He won't even retweet our tweets. Anyway, yeah, Everton's goal. Brilliant counter-attack.
Yeah, and surprised and Phil Jagielka was there, wasn't there?
Yeah, what was he doing?
I was sort of like, what is that? But I suppose, like, some else do go forward, and if no one's going forward, you've got to sort of go to as well.
Maybe he saw, like, they were all defending, and then he was like, saw them all running forward, he was like, I fancy some of this.
Yeah, you put it forward.
He said to, like...
That's how defenders normally go up there, isn't it?
I know he's involved in the move, but he turned around to Gylfi Sigurdsson and went, you staying centre-back, I've got this one, run forward. No, but it was good.
It was a good finish as well. Good finish. It was sort of... It didn't seem right on Sigurdsson's feet, did it? It seemed a bit behind him, didn't it?
Yeah.
And like first time, it was a very good finish. Like, obviously, no goalie would have saved it, but even if it was right at Karius, I don't think he would have saved it because he isn't the best.
Liverpool have really bad goalkeepers.
Yeah, not the best.
# free Danny Ward. Yeah, obviously Liverpool in quite good form at the minute. Currently occupy 4th place in the Premier League. Got a little bit of space from Spurs in 5th. But like I said, it's in the FA Cup. They're going to the next round. On Saturday's games, there's a few of them. It was kicked off when Leicester went to Fleetwood, the one that the press was sort of pushing as Jamie Vardy returns to his old club, and he was injured.
And he had a little video that was like, he had a little interview about his time at
most
Fleetwood.
Expensive ever non-league player.
Yeah. It wasn't even there, and he was injured. He sat in the crowd though, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a boring game, really. Leicester obviously weakening their team in the cups.
They have the best teams out.
Yeah, I think they should. Leicester could go for a cup. Do you think they're 8th in?
Yeah, like they're definitely safe. Like you'd like to after the top 6. Like
they've done well under club. Well,
yeah. After the top 6, Leicester's got to be the next best team, isn't it? Like
Burnley.
I suppose.
Burnley and Leicester, looking at them too.
Yeah, I mean, they've both got to really be going for it. Like obviously Burnley are out of it. They lost at Man City. That's always going to be a difficult game.
Yeah. But
I think Leicester will go for that. Still got the home and versus to go. I think they're away to Peterborough next round if they can beat Fleetwood. So that could be.
Expect them.
Yeah, you'd expect them not to lose anyway. Yeah. Obviously, massive congratulations to the goalkeeper of Fleetwood. I think Christopher Neal, his name is. Obviously, Fleetwood's been the. Sponsored by Papa John's. They gave a deal that if he can keep a clean sheet against Leicester, he gets an unlimited free supply of pizza for a whole year, and obviously that's what he did. So let's hope he enjoys his pizza, and let's hope he puts some pineapple on that pizza, like where it should be.
Oh, controversial. I know. Yeah, it's quite a boring game though overall, wasn't it? You think Leicester would do him at the King Power?
They should do.
Maybe Vardy will be fit by then.
Yeah.
Next game was probably the first game we're going to cover. You could class as a surprise. In the FA Cup, as Aston Villa fell out of the cup to Grant McCann's Peterborough United. Peterborough made a late surge for it, 3 goals in the last 15 minutes.
Yep.
Jack Marriott, Gills legend. For about 15 minutes he played for Gills. At the double. Peterborough good side, didn't they? We went there.
Yeah.
Away.
We had a bit out of form when we went there, weren't we? I think.
Yeah.
They did look good. So I was doing Marcus Madsen's a very good player. They got Anthony Granson in the field. I think it's a good player.
Yeah, they got Gwen Edwards. They got
up front. They got another one, haven't they? As well as Jack Marriott.
Yeah, they got likes of Ricky Miller.
Yeah.
Although he looks on his way out.
Yeah, is he?
Reportedly,
he hasn't really done much, has he?
No, he hasn't. We were linked to him in the summer, down Gills.
Yeah.
So it's not really surprising though, is it? Villa on a downward spiral. I've seen a lot of. I mean, I know they're sort of they're pushing playoffs in the Championship, but I've seen a lot of hate and abuse towards Steve Bruce recently.
Yeah. Obviously, they spend a lot of money as well. Like they bought a lot of John Terry got to be on quite a lot.
Yeah, you would expect Villa to sort of like a club of their size and their money should go up. Really,
yeah. And so possibly it might not be a bad thing at the end of the day because you know that could allow them to concentrate on like a promotion sort of thing. But yeah, I think if they don't finish top 6, it will be a surprise. Peterborough maybe going through in like, you know, as a League One side, expected not to go as much further than where they've just progressed to. They want to be pushing for promotion. You'd like to think Peterborough?
They should be.
Yeah, they should be exactly. So they don't really want too much of a cup run, but you know, everyone wants a cup run, really, don't they?
Like you say though, next round, Fleetwood or Leicester. If Fleetwood can cause an upset there, Peterborough fancy their chance against
home to Fleetwood, yeah.
Poor Fleetwood side.
Yeah. Even though home to Leicester, like, it's a difficult place to go to, like Peterborough.
Well, not for us.
Not for us, obviously. No, not for us.
Yeah, next up, another upset. Well, wasn't really an upset at all, according to some. Coventry 2, Stoke 1.
How did you not have money on Coventry winning that? Like, seriously, like, they're always going to win that game.
Coventry 2, Stoke 1. Saw the end of Mark Hughes. We'll talk about it a bit more in near post news later this week, but Hughes obviously sacked. It probably was a long time coming. Actually, we've got a question about this later as well, so I won't cover it too much. But yeah, was that the right decision, do you think, sack Hughes? He just lost to Coventry. It wasn't like he played a bad team.
No.
They had like Zuma, Butler and Diouf playing. Like, you should be able to beat a League 2 Coventry.
Obviously, he's a very long-lasting manager there. And like, I know, obviously, they're where they are in the league. But you do add... Literally, it's very close down there, and you add 4 points onto where they are at the moment. Like them 4 points, they could recover in the second half of the season if they still kept Hughes, or just even now. They'd sort of, you know, they would sort of be 13th, and like that's sort of where you'd expect Stoke. Like you can't really expect much higher than that, really.
Yeah.
Like obviously they've got to get a good manager in now. I think he's slightly unlucky.
Do you think?
I
think
but I do understand it because, you know.
I think he put pressure on himself because,
you know, a lot of goals lately.
They got spanked by Chelsea. I think it was 5-0.
Yeah, and then he said, "I'm the man for the job," didn't he?
No, he said, but he said I rested players so he could beat Newcastle.
Yeah.
And then they went and lost to Newcastle as well.
Oh, yeah. But then again, I do understand it because obviously Stoke's always been quite, and Mark Hughes' Stoke has always been quite renowned for its strong defence, and obviously
building off the back
of
of
goals.
Pulis this time there, really.
Yeah, and obviously that sort of fell down a bit.
Yeah, most goals conceded in the top 5 teams.
Yeah, you'd never guess that, would you? You'd never guess that.
In terms of Coventry, though, massive result for them at the Rico.
Yeah, they're pushing for playoffs, aren't they?
It's nice to see them doing alright again. Like, I know they're in League 2,
yeah. It would be quite good for another trip up to Coventry again next year.
Hopefully be better than our last visit.
Oh God, how long is that? 3 hours and they've fallen down at half time, wasn't it? At least they won a second half though, Bradley Dack with his goal.
Bradley Dack goal, yeah. Anyway.
Shout out to their Josh Elijah for that game.
Brilliant pass.
Yeah, brilliant pass from halfway line.
Yeah. Next game, Man City 4, Burnley 1. Burnley took the lead, didn't they?
Yeah, they were leading for quite a while actually. I think they went up at half time. Aguero came on and scored a brace, didn't he?
Yeah, Leroy Sané and Bernardo Silva were the other two. Burnley took the lead, but Man City, you know, if you concede 3 goals to them these days, you're doing well.
Yeah, that's true. They sort of, scary moments, but you can't expect it to be turned around once it's brought back to 1-0. They still on track.
Yeah,
still on track to win a lot, don't they?
Quadruple.
Man City. Obviously, great club. Like
you'd assume they've won the Premier League.
You would, yeah.
And they've got both cups in the Champions League.
Champions League.
It's
got Spurs' name on it already, isn't it?
Yeah, but John Stones back in the Man City team.
Yeah.
Good to see for England and him.
Yeah, Johnny Evans is linked there, isn't he?
Johnny Evans
and Arsenal. I think he'd be quite. Yeah. I think Arsenal will need him. That'd be quite a good signing for them.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good sign for City.
Yeah, it would be a good sign for City.
Obviously, they've got Stones.
Otamendi and Stones doing well.
Stones doing well. Company's in and out, but he's always injured. And then Mangala, who just is pretty crap.
Yeah.
Definitely doesn't fit into the Pep system. But Johnny Evans, big sign there because see Stones back out of fit, and Man City still on to quadruple. On to Sunday, and we've got one surprise and one expected result. The surprise, we have Newport 2, Leeds 1. I'll talk while you look for your paper. Newport 2, Leeds 1. So, a late goal from Newport, saw them get the win.
2 late goals from Newport, actually.
Michael Flynn, ex-Gills player.
Yeah.
He's been captain.
Doing
really well. Spurs in the next round, though.
At home, yeah, they shouldn't win that, should they? They shouldn't beat Spurs.
Frank Noble
Even
masterclass.
Frank Noble, like, you know, even and like that's just typical, isn't it? Like a brilliant game. I saw him play because I watched that game and when they beat Leeds and he had a really good game, and like saw it Gills, bit hopeless really, wasn't it most of the time? Like,
Yeah, Leeds. He's doing well at Newport though.
yeah, no, he's doing well. They're doing well.
Leeds are a weird one because Newport will be looking at the playoffs, but Leeds are a weird one because they started well and like when Gary Monk left, everyone was like, "Hey," and then they're just falling again.
Yeah, they've got some good individuals there. Like that Pablo Hernandez is there. They got a few foreigners in.
Came on roof.
Yeah, that Says who got sent off.
Yeah.
They got another one. They got a big guy. This what was his name? Number 11. People were like shouting at the screen right now, telling me who he is. But yeah, no.
Maybe
it was his debut. It was his debut. And like you know, big name again. Their striker, I think it was Lesogo.
Frank Noble. Oh
no, not Frank Noble. Lesogo, I think his name was.
Right.
And like, I know he just looks so frustrated. And, like he looks a bit of a donkey.
Right, yeah. Well, congrats to Newport. They go on to face Spurs. Shame it's not on away day actually to Wembley. How big of their fans.
That's true.
Yeah, and then the expected result: Nottingham Forest 4, Arsenal 2. 2 penalties in this game. Slightly controversial. I know Ibs wasn't happy. Standard. Arsenal again back 3. Absolutely crap. Mertesacker leading the line, turns like a tank. The amount of times,
that's generous.
The amount of times Forest got through in that game.
I was watching it, I was thinking Forest, like the first 20 minutes, like Forest is awful. They're never good at all.
Well, they're not like an established championship side, are they?
Elneny was like bossing that park in the first half now. And like bloody hell, like he wouldn't even come to Gills and like look dominant really.
What did you make of the penalty at the end? You know, the double tap, double kick sort of thing.
Obviously.
Obviously, you're not allowed to kick it twice.
No, but they looked at that, didn't they? They sort of they didn't give the goal straight away. They sort of looked at it was double tap. Yeah. It was double tap, wasn't it?
I thought he kicked it at the same time. To be fair,
yeah.
I think
was
the referee.
Allowed then? I don't really know. Like,
I don't know, but
it's a weird one. Yeah.
I don't know why
you wouldn't have approached it and kicked both it, would you?
But
that'd be a bit weird.
I heard that the referee said at the end that he couldn't see, so it was down to the linesman. So.
Oh really? Yeah. I mean, like, surely you sort of. When they slip like that and that sort of happens, I know you kind of, just watching it, you kind of expect it to be sort of double tap, wouldn't you, really?
Yeah, well, Arsenal are out, the holders.
First time Wenger's been out, isn't it, in the
third round, yeah. In terms of team selection, we didn't have any sign of their main players. No Lacazette, no Ozil, no Sanchez.
I did have a feeling to do that.
Yeah, but I think if you I'll just kick that over. If you look at the teams that other sides fielded, like the other top teams, Spurs fielded Harry Kane, Liverpool fielded Van Dijk, Mane, like all the main players. City, Aguero played, and then Arsenal rock up, and you can't see any of their best players. I feel like that just shows the gap in what Wenger's ideas are compared to the top manager's ideas. He's not showing the cup enough respect. What's he resting his players for? A top 4 push, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's not great, but congrats to Forest, they go on. Arsenal fans not too happy. So the final game we're going to go on to in the FA Cup last night was Brighton 2, Palace 1. Brighton with the late goal. The first game, Jack, where VAR has been available. Slightly controversial at the end, because obviously Glenn Murray got the goal. It seemed like it might have brushed off his arm. Andre Mariner, the referee, decided not to use the VAR review. He did discuss the incident with the VAR person, Neil Swarbrick, through his earpiece, but he didn't consult it because he was satisfied it was legitimate. I've seen it back, you've seen it back. It didn't look like it touched his hand.
No, but then again, if it didn't touch his hand, it didn't really look like it touched him at all, did it?
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
And like got given a goal, right?
Yeah. Do you think they should have used VAR? Surely if he's questioning it, like he's got to initiate, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
He's got to.
I mean, that's what it's there for. Like, there's no point having it if you're not going to use it when you think you need to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to use it at all, really, are you?
Yeah. Roy Hodgson was satisfied, though. Roy Hodgson said he was alright with the decision. He said there's still a slight thought that it might have touched his arm, but he said if it was his striker, he'd have been a bit gutted if it wasn't given.
Yeah,
so,
that's quite honest from referee for once, isn't it?
Glenn Murray against his former side. netting the winner. As he did against Bournemouth, scored against Bournemouth.
Celebrated both times as well, didn't he?
Good on him. So Brighton go through. Palace halted a little bit, but I'm sure they'll be happy enough to concentrate on the Premier League.
Yeah, I think they'll take.
They'll want to stay safe. So that's the English football rounded up. Going to do a little bit of an international roundup now. Not international football, but sort of go around the country a little bit. We have 4 games to go over. 4 important games. So the first one is in the Copa del Rey on Thursday, which was Celta Vigo 1, Barcelona 1. So the return of Ousmane Dembele, the very expensive player that wasn't Felipe Coutinho. No Messi, no Suarez involved. Maybe Barcelona will go with that for the second leg. You'd expect them to get it done, but it's a harder job. Celta Vigo, a good side. Also got a result later on that we're going to talk about. You'd expect Barcelona to get it done the second leg, wouldn't you? Round 16.
Obviously, it depends on what Barcelona, how they want us to approach it, really. You'd always assume that they're expected to get it done against Celta Vigo, even though, no disrespect to Celta Vigo, obviously the size of their club as well, sort of in the same division, This is a case of how they would play it, I suppose. It would be in 2 legs, I guess. The coaching staff would be aware that they're going to be playing them again. So
take a draw away and then go home and
obviously this time it was a case of that. Sometimes they might go for it away because it'd be more difficult. Say they win a game away and then they played the youngsters at home, but then again you can't really guarantee a huge win away even if you're playing a strong team. And then obviously that would mean your youngsters are going to have to really perform to keep hold of that win that you have over the opposition. So I suppose this is the right thing to do, to probably weaken it a bit more, going away, taking a point, and then playing strong again at home.
Yeah, Dembele came on. You would have expected Barcelona to get it done, but I'm sure they will. In the next leg at Camp Nou. Next game on Saturday, we're going to Serie A. Cagliari 0, Juventus 1. Although it's only a 1-0 win for Juventus, I wanted to pick up on it a bit because they're now 1 point behind Napoli in Serie A. Start of the season, people sort of thought Juventus' dominance might be over. Spurs got them in the Champions League, actually.
Yeah.
Probably a wrong time to catch them because Juventus have really hit form.
Yeah, I remember at the time when they got them, I thought, not a bad draw, really.
It's not a bad draw, but it's not a great draw.
Yeah, no, considering at the time I knew Juventus were out of form.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good draw for them.
Yeah.
Plus they finished second. Oh, it was the Barcelona, wasn't it? So,
Napoli picking up the 2-0 win as well. But yeah, Juventus have really pushed on. It could have been a poor start because of the loss of Bonucci to Milan, who also haven't started great. But
no, they haven't. They're not even top half, are they?
No, really struggling. Really struggling. But yeah, like I say, Juventus are climbing. 1 point behind Napoli now. Do you think they'll go on to win Serie A? Do you think Napoli could hold on?
Well, Napoli, they had a strong team. I saw the Coppa Italia result the other day. They lost to Atlanta 2-0. And they had a strong team out. And you sort of do look at it and you do sort of question like the fact all they focus on Europa League because they're in that now, aren't they? And that's a good chance for them to win that trophy because obviously you get not as many big teams. They've got to consider themselves as like quite favourites to win that. So they might focus on that. They might have just had a very not lucky, but like a good start. Might fall down a little bit. And obviously with Juventus piling the pressure on the closing days, I think Juventus did win at Napoli, didn't they? I think earlier in the season. I think a few weeks ago. So if they can win again, Juventus owns Napoli, like later on in the season, they can hold the pressure right on Napoli, and they could seal it right towards the end, or Napoli could hold on. But Juventus definitely needs to keep putting on the pressure.
Napoli do have good players and they're under good management as well. I think Pep Guardiola said it was the hardest side that City have ever faced when they played them in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I think a big loss for Napoli is the loss of Goulam, their left back, who's had a serious injury. But they've got the likes of Koulibaly, one of the best ball playing centre halves. Likes of Hamsik have been brilliant, but it's definitely getting interesting in Serie A. It's getting interesting. We'll go to La Liga on Sunday. There's a reason I wanted to comment on these 2 games because it's top of La Liga. Barcelona 3, Levante 0. Pretty straightforward. Barcelona caught this game. Messi, Suarez, and Paulinho with the goals. Levante did push a couple of times earlier on. But Barcelona saw the game out pretty easily. Dembele started, first start in a long time, and Jack Coutinho was revealed before he'd passed his medical, but he was revealed as a Barcelona player. A buyout clause of 350 odd million on that. It's crazy, isn't it? Barcelona got the job done, and one team that didn't get the job done was Real Madrid, who
No,
drew to Celta Vigo.
Yeah, like what a good week it'd be to be Celta Vigo season ticket holder. Like home to Real Madrid and Barcelona in a matter of a few days.
Well, season ticket holder, but there's a cup game, wasn't it? One of them was a cup game. So.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. So but priority seat and all that, like it's a good point at home to Real Madrid.
Real Madrid falling though, 16 points behind Barcelona now. A late Maxi Gomez goal got Celta Vigo level. Barcelona now 16 points clear. I think Real Madrid are closer to 16th than Barcelona now. Not great for them. Zidane on the brink maybe. If they go out of the Champions League early.
Yeah, I mean, you just sort of, because when it gets to the point where you do look at individuals Real Madrid have, and like obviously they're really world class, and you sort of wonder like how he's sort of struggling so much really, because surely you just put him on your team sheet and like that's enough, but obviously
I think
clearly
his
not.
tactics last season were really good as well. We managed to get Isco in the team pretty easily, move Ronaldo a bit further forward. I think Real Madrid are crying out for a striker. Benzema's...
Because also I do remember when Spurs played them, like, they were very troubled defensively, didn't they? They didn't seem to really care about defensively what was going on really. They weren't scoring because they only got one, but
could do with a few more defensive reinforcements, I think.
Yeah, definitely, and so actually like pay attention to defensive, because they seem to want to outscore opponents all the time.
I know. I touched on it a couple of podcasts ago, but did you watch El Clasico?
No, right, Barcelona functioned, didn't they?
Yeah, Barcelona won 3-0.
It was at Real Madrid, wasn't it?
It was at Real.
Yeah.
It was at the Bernabeu.
It got man sent off, didn't they?
Danny Carvajal with a save on the line.
Yes.
Messi scoring the penalty. But yeah, troubling times for Real Madrid. Troubling times for Zinedine Zidane. Going to move on now to the final section of the podcast, answering the listeners / viewers' questions. Going to try and get through everyone, as many as we can. First question from @Italian Gilles fan. Do you reckon a Premier League side will attempt to sign Thomas Holy in the summer transfer window? Jack?
I'd say, obviously, being 26 years old, I'd say that probably doesn't help him as much, because most of the high clubs do tend to sign players from lower divisions because, when they're young.
That's quite young for a keeper, though. 26.
Yeah.
Like, coming into his prime.
He came from a big club, didn't he? Where did he come from? Because I remember you used to always show me the YouTube videos of all his saves. Yeah, the massive thing about him. So, obviously, 26. I reckon he could do the job as a sub-goalie sort of thing, or in the Championship. I do. Watching Gilles, it does seem to go when he has a goal kick from when he's
his kicking is
random
awful.
ends. Yeah,
it is awful. His kicking.
When he's at the random ends, like I do seem to know sometimes it does go over my head, not over my head, but over the stand above me.
You sit like right next to the goal. That'd be a really bad goal kick if it went over your head.
No, it goes over like the stand sort of thing. So like he's trying to find someone out wide, and like it goes out. So obviously, his distribution is not as good enough for the Premier League.
He's got good distribution with his hands. Like he rolls it out quite a lot, but his kicking needs to work on that a little bit.
Yeah, he obviously quite frequently kicks out of play. However, the pitches will be a bit wider in the Premier League, so I suppose that could be a bit of a helping hand, because he'll be kicking wider, even if he's in the Championship or the Premier League, than the grounds at Priestfield. So that could help, I suppose, but obviously his accuracy with his kicking at goal kicks needs to be worked on, and like probably isn't quite nowhere near Premier League standard, really.
What about as a goalkeeper with his hands?
He makes good saves, doesn't he?
Good save,
yeah,
and
he comes out and gets the ball.
Something else he's improved. Well. Yeah, he's improved a lot on that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Every time he used to come out to catch it, I used to crap myself thinking, "Oh no, he's going to drop it."
Yeah.
Now I'm confident. Credit to Glenn Johnson, the goalkeeper coach, for that.
In
terms of Premier League side coming, I'm not sure. I don't know if he's ready for Premier League. He won't start games. I know there was something on his Instagram where someone commented like ready to fight for the. It was in Czech, so it's roughly translation, but ready to fight for the Palace #1, and Holy replied like, "I'll give you a wallop" or something like that. But
I can sort of see a Leeds, a Brentford.
Yeah,
sort of
Crystal Palace have contacted another club about a keeper, so hopefully that. Especially this window, we don't want to lose in this window. Speroni and Hennessy sort of rotate. Very on.
Yeah, he is a bit.
Near 40.
What happened to that man Danda? He was there, wasn't he?
He's gone back to Marseille.
Oh, was not really good then.
Didn't quite work out how they thought. But this window I think we've got to keep him. But in terms of summer, could get a bit of money for him. Links with Bristol City, Derby, and Crystal Palace. Like I say, Crystal Palace have contacted and another club about their goalkeeper, but Bristol City and Derby both pushing for the Premier League. Derby are like your third team.
I like Derby. Got a bit of a soft spot for Derby
because you've gone with them in your bet every year. But
a bit of a soft spot for them.
Yeah, I think we'll see him go in summer, but maybe not a Premier League side, maybe a Championship side. Next question at Nathan OAFC 01. Thoughts on Bury, Jack? What are your thoughts on Bury?
Obviously, after spending a lot in the summer, they're rock bottom. 11 points is it from safety?
11 points.
Beckford injured, which obviously at the start of the season you look at that and that's a good signing really, coming from the divisions he came from.
Take it down Gilles, isn't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I was looking forward to seeing him when Gilles played Bury, but I think he was injured for that.
Yeah, he was.
So obviously that doesn't help because after goals, that's a lot of money spent on someone who's going to be injured for a long time. James Hansen, obviously, he's a tall guy.
Very tall guy.
Yeah. Formerly at Bradford. He did the job
United.
and Sheffield United. Did the job both clubs, didn't he? Like in higher League One. It's a good signing for trying to keep him up. I don't know whether he's a bit older now, but you still think he's still got.
I don't know whether he's a bit older now. He probably is a bit
older.
Oh,
probably is. Yeah. But but I mean, I don't know if he's too old, sort of thing.
Yeah. In terms of the management, obviously, Clark was relieved of his duties earlier on. Ryan Lowe had a bit of a player management stint. Now he's brought in Chris Lucchetti, Bury legend, next to no management experience. Why have they brought in this guy when they want to stay up? It's like us bringing in Pennock last season, bringing in a club legend, in inverted commas, and thinking he can do a job, but it hasn't worked out.
I mean, in terms of obviously realistic budget and where they are in the league, you'd think I never liked him, but someone like Martin Allen, second half of the season, get the players engaged, get him high energy spirits, bit of belief in their play. With 11 points off, Martin Allen, surely that'd be a good appointment. Obviously, I don't know whether this guy sort of has the same sort of approach. But obviously, it's a big move. I don't know whether they've already.
Sure.
Obviously, you can't already know that already trying to play for League Two when you're halfway through the season.
I think they should have just gone with a more experienced manager, like you say, Martin Allen, rather than some random guy trying to keep him up. But then again, take a risk, it might pay off, but it doesn't seem like it has. Are they going down? Yes.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
Does look like
I
it.
don't know about it's James Hansen, obviously. They win 3 games on the bounce,
Yeah. Well, can't see that happening anytime soon. At Ibrahim Khwaja, obviously, Ibs, is asked a question, Joe question. Thoughts on Wenger's touchline ban? We'll do that one first. It was coming, wasn't it? He always mouths off referees.
Yeah.
Deserves it.
See, I've got to look at it if you complain as a player too often, if you're in a referee's ear, then you're going to get booked for it and maybe even sent off if it's another yellow card sort of thing, or if you say something, sometimes what you can say. And obviously, if you're in your ear as a manager, you can't really complain about it. It's fair to give him a touchline ban. Obviously, if he's complaining too much, it's like he would for a player kind of thing.
Yeah, because obviously
there's got to be a punishment.
There are rules about disrespecting referees and stuff.
Definitely,
it looks funny sitting in the stands. One of those games gone.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Against Nottingham Forest, 2 left. Second question in Ibs' questions. What do you think will be the impact of VAR? So obviously we saw it available in the Brighton Palace game. I want to go first if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I think human error is part of the game. It always has been. If you look in cricket, you look at LBWs, umpires got to decide.
Yeah.
You don't want to take too much out of the game because you don't know if everything's going to be referred, it'll stop fans cheering, etc. But we are behind. As a sport of football, we are behind. You've got it in tennis, you've got it in rugby, you've got it in cricket, name your sport. I think it was only a matter of time before it came in. The amount of errors that are made. People saying educate referees, but it's still going to be human error. We're behind as a sport, but we don't want to slow the game down too much. But if it didn't, if it's the last minute of a game, someone scored, and you want to refer, you don't know if it's a goal or not. That's a big thing. That could be a difference between a team staying up, etc. So obviously it's a good thing for the accuracy. Human error is part of it, but we're behind as a sport, and I think, because of the amount of human error, it might be necessary. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you. Obviously, can make a bit of an impact. It's going to be a lot different. I do kind of worry because obviously at the same time, like obviously everyone else is doing it. It takes away slight referee's job a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, another thing I do worry about is if it gets sort of overdone and there's too much of it, like how much stoppages in play there's going to be all the time. Like, you know, just like review the situation. Like, you know, like the referee might have to walk over, like have a little word with the linesman like they always do, and then like, you know, 10 minutes later they might not even kicked off again. So that's a slight worry I have, but hopefully they won't include it too much, sort of thing.
Do you think they could implement a system like cricket or tennis where, like, the manager or the captain has a certain amount of reviews they can use?
That's what I was thinking, actually.
So maybe like
I was thinking like 1.5 sort of thing.
Yeah, or like they have 3 reviews they could use in the game.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking that actually.
Yeah.
Like, I think because obviously, otherwise, there's no real limit to like when you're gonna stop using it. Really.
Yeah. Like you say, there could be so much extra time added on. We'll move on at Josh_Yeardley, good friend of the channel. Who will be the next Stoke manager? I'm going to keep him up. Obviously, we spoke earlier about Mark Hughes being sacked. Who do you think is going to come in to replace him? Obviously, Martin O'Neill and Gary Rowett of the Derby.
It's always the same people, isn't it? Like,
the favourites at the minute. Yeah, like at the minute, there's not much option, is there? There's not much choice. You've got Mancini, Coleman, Bilic. I think it'll be Bilic. I don't know. Just take your pick out of that. I think it'll be Bilic.
It always seems to be the same names, doesn't it? It always seems to be the same people. We normally get sacked when we show back in football like a few weeks later.
I don't think he'll keep him up though. Stoke are a bad team. They're really bad. They've got decent players. I think they'll go down. But do you remember what I said at the start of the season? Right. I don't know if this was in the podcast. I can't remember. When we did our Premier League predictions, I had Stoke in the bottom 3, and I was like, "Oh no, we can't put Stoke in the bottom 3." And then I took them out, but I think they could go down. But
that's right though. I think I'd burn in Watford.
Anyway, I think it'll either be Stoke. I think Swansea and West Brom will definitely go down, and then I think it'll be between Stoke and Southampton. Southampton if they keep Pellegrino, but also they've got money to spend. So
you don't think any?
At the minute, that's what it looks like. I don't think Brighton or Huddersfield will go down. And I think potentially Newcastle.
They do well away from Newcastle. Actually, got a few good wins.
Yeah, they've done well under the situation they're in.
Anyway,
who do you think it'll be?
Obviously, Gary Rowett is a possibility.
Would you like that?
No, I'm literally like screwing my face up while I say Gary Rowett's a possibility. Hasn't really experienced in the Premier League, so there's a slight risk on Stoke's behalf. However, you know, like if he's getting results where he is, then obviously you need to bring him in. O'Neill, possibly would stand a chance keeping him up, like previous experiences at Villa. He was there a long time, like, you know, overall successful. Ireland. I
think he's done all he can at Ireland. He got them to the Euros.
Didn't make the World Cup, and like he's probably thinking, like, I've probably had enough of this. Probably, might want to go back to the Premier League. Well, Stoke's the kind of place where he start really, because like, you know, mid/bottom of the Premier League is like where you'd associate him as a manager.
Yeah. Not much chance for young English talent like Gary Rowett. Do you remember when Gary Rowett was linked with the Jules job when we sacked Edinburgh? Just over a year ago.
Everyone was doing a Jules job, weren't
they? Next question from @FOM_blog, Lee Clifton. Before FIFA got rid of the emergency loan system, Football League clubs often relied on it to sign players outside of the transfer window. So do you think the transfer window should be scrapped for Championship, League 1 and League 2 clubs, Jack?
No, like honestly, no, I don't think.
No.
I think it's got to be kept because it's unfair on the lower divisions. Like obviously, if they see their weaknesses, if they get a few injuries in the similar positions around Christmas time,
you literally just be pulling up youth, like
exactly.
Quick,
youth. Like you might notice, you might bring a few centre halves in the summer, and you might think, oh look, you know, pretty good defensively. Start seeing a lot of goals.
What you do?
And then you can't do anything.
Quick, get a 16-year-old from the under 14. No, you know what I mean?
obviously, you can't do anything midway through the season. Like obviously, you got to deal with what you have. So I wouldn't scrap it. I think you just got to keep it. I think it's unfair on the lower divisions. Just keep it.
Imagine the gap between the Premier League and the rest of England if the Premier League still had the transfer window and the rest didn't. Like,
can you imagine if, say, for instance, Derby had like a really formidable striker in the first half of the season?
Yeah.
Went to bloody Man City or someone like that for like 20 million in January. Derby don't have a striker.
And they can't buy him.
And they've got loads of money. They can't do anything in January.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you'd have to rely on your youth, like your youth production. I mean, that's probably where the money would go. But there's only so much money you can spend on youth production. Premier League clubs will come in, like Gills could spend 5 years developing
Elliot
List, right? No, someone came from my youth team, Aaron Simpson. Could spend 5 years developing Aaron Simpson. Aaron could get to 23 years old, be a quality player. Gills are like, we don't need a transfer window. We've got a quality player here. But Liverpool come in, pick up Aaron Simpson. Gills are like, £10 million. What do we do with this? You know what I mean? Like, what are they supposed to do with the money? If they're complaining about the transfer window, about like not being able to sign players in the emergency loan system, just prepare better in the transfer window. Like, just buy the players you need to prepare for the situations when the actual transfer window is open. That's our views. Next question from @WillyBully69, which is Reese. Why are Gillingham obsessed with class county players? He's a Newport fan, so he means Newport county players.
Yeah.
By this, he means Justin Edinburgh, not a player, but we took him.
Mark Byrne.
Ryan Jackson, Mark Byrne. Frank Newell's there, but he was at us first, so yeah.
I wouldn't, obviously, not obsessed. This seems to be a bit of a coincidence.
To be fair, actually, Jackson and Byrne were brought in by Edinburgh because he was at Newport, which is probably why he wanted the players, because he knows them.
Yeah.
So that's probably the correct answer to that question.
Well, obviously, no disrespect to Newport County, but they'd probably always be cheaper options as well. Coming from Newport, obviously, lower end of League 2, at the moment sort of having a good season. So mid-table League 2, but they'd always be the cheaper options coming players from Newport.
Yeah.
So obviously, and Jules are quite, renowned to get players from the low divisions because never really had the money, haven't we, really? So seems to be a coincidence they're coming from Newport.
There we go. Nathan OSCO1, where do you think Oldham will finish this season? So obviously this is Nathan, who's actually an Oldham fan. He likes to laugh at Bury, so that's why the older Bury question was there. Oldham currently 20th, and they're in a bit of trouble actually. Teams below them have got games in hand. They had a bit of a resurgence because they looked like they were really going to go down earlier on in the season under John Sheridan. But Richie Wellens came in, got them playing. They rose a bit. Form's dropped though. Like I say, currently 20th. I think they'll be alright because Wellens is a good manager, but
they came down here and got 0-0, didn't they? I think they.
We were unlucky not to win that as well. Luke O'Neill hit the bar.
We still draw their games. Difficult to beat, sort of thing. Out of favour at the moment, 20th, but I know they'll probably do the usual and finish a few above relegation. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's worse teams in our division than Oldham.
So what do you reckon then? Where do they come?
Oldham. I'm going to go with 19th. 19th and Gills 18th.
I've gone 15th. Gills second.
15th. Second. What's the bottom?
No. @Naylor94. With Virgil van Dijk recently being bought for £5 million less than Real Madrid paid for Cristiano Ronaldo, do you think football is in a is now in an uncontrollable spiral in terms of overspending on players? I think the main thing here is that Van Dijk got bought in a very different era to Ronaldo. Like, we're seeing transfer fees like Dembele, Mbappe, Neymar, Coutinho being chucked out. But Van Dijk, like at the time, Ronaldo was the most expensive player by 20 odd million to Kaká. At the time, I think at the end of the day, like, it's the industry. Money's changed a lot. Within the industry, if you've got that much money in the industry, that's how much gets thrown around. Like, it doesn't matter. I know 75 million could help like a country, but if you've got that money, like, that's in the industry. Like, you're gonna pay it. Like, my dad, for his job, is an engineer, like, owns his own business. Like, he'll sell something for 300 quid, and I'm like, 300 quid for that? But like, that's what the industry is. That's what you pay.
Also, more the case of a focus on the words overspending and uncontrollable. I don't necessarily think it is like overspending or uncontrollable, because it's a case of urgency, isn't it? Like, obviously you can't class them as these words if the transfer proves vital. Like, obviously you can't put overpricing or uncontrollable. You can't really put a price on if it goes and wins in the league in a few years' time. Or whatever,
exactly.
Because of that.
That's what I mean. Like, Liverpool wanted him. Like, it depends on so many things. Like, how much you want him, how much the team values him at, how much they need him, how much the team knows you want him, and like how much he's going to help you achieve.
Like, obviously Liverpool badly needed a centre half, so understandably put a high figure on what they did, on what they needed, and obviously they knew they'd get them. Like an example is when they like paid 35 million for Carroll because they just lost Torres and the transfer window was running out, and like obviously they needed a replacement. Obviously they didn't really have time to negotiate. They probably just thought we'll put 35 million on Carroll because it's pretty urgent. We need a striker, someone who's going to at least try to replace Torres, and then they ended up obviously accepting it because it was a lot of money for Andy Carroll. Obviously, it just had to be done for the benefit of the club, and it's a case of that's probably what Van Dijk's transfer really was at the end of the day.
Yeah. Next question, another one from Lee, FOM blog. Do you think it's time for safe standing to be introduced in all football stadiums in England, especially as standing has proven to be very successful and popular in the German Bundesliga? I think you have to be careful because obviously past situations like Hillsborough, etc. Atmosphere improves when you stand most of the time. You can stand together, which is commonly why atmosphere is better at away games for clubs. But there are some safe standing, like some standing areas at clubs, aren't there? Because obviously Crawley have it, Peterborough have it.
Yeah,
I think it's alright if you control it though.
Just to add on to that, I agree. Obviously, bigger clubs. I don't know, how much I'm looking into it here, but obviously, with more fans, there's more chance of sort of disabled fans who can't really stand, and obviously you'd be blocking their view possibly if older people. If you have too many standing areas.
I suppose you'd have a safe standing section, but then how do you know that say an 80-year-old man that's been going his whole life sitting in that stand is then going to be kicked out of that stand because it's a safe stand?
Exactly. Obviously all the same as at every ground really. At this point, all that really needs to happen is it needs to be quite squishy in there. Squishy in there. And all that really happens is all someone has to do is jump up and land on someone's toes. That's literally always got to happen. Circumstances like that, and could lead to unnecessary falling outs. And obviously bigger grounds, bigger clubs. Obviously that's probably got to have more chance of happening. And
it's a possibility. They've just got a lot of things to consider.
Yeah, definitely.
So at one team in Kent, do you think if we had English players playing in other top leagues in Europe, we would have a more successful national team? Jack.
Possibly. Obviously, it'd be great for players to go abroad.
Doesn't always work though.
Exactly. Learn to play. However, at the end of the day, the talent of a player is either there or it isn't. Really, it doesn't matter what country you put him in, what style of football. If you're talented, you're talented. If you're not, you're not. I'm not sure whether a few players playing abroad and different style would influence England. For instance, if Rashford and Sterling 5 years ago, when they were young, went out and played their whole career, or Kane even went out to a different country and played most of their career there, a different country. Then 4 years later, brought them back for the World Cup. They were our front three. Would it be much difference? I don't really know.
What about Eric Dyer? He's playing a lot of his career in Portugal, at Lisbon. It's hard to say if it is so effective, but I think the most important thing to have a successful national team is to have the players playing for one club. So if you look at Italy, when they had Barzagli, Chiellini, Bonucci playing all for Juventus, but that's not going to happen because of the amount of foreign players in the Premier League. Other nations do it, so obviously we have a few Spanish players, a few German players, etc., and a few Brazilians, one fewer now. But in the Premier League, maybe it works getting used to different styles because the Premier League is different to other teams. You hear the amount of players that come over and say, "Oh, Premier League's different style to where we're from," and all that. So maybe something to consider, but I don't really think it'll happen too soon. It'll take a big player to when it happens. It's a shock, isn't it? When Ashley Cole went over to Roma, and when Joe Hart went to Torino.
Mark Owen, going to Real Madrid or whatever, a few years back or whatever.
Penultimate question then from Mark W. Boz. Bold statement here. With the World Cup coming up, my opinion is that we should write it off and take mostly youngsters and be better prepared for the Euros. Thoughts? I think it's a bit of a lack of ambition because if you're we can't win the World Cup, we'll go for the Euros instead because maybe the Euros is a bit easier to win. It's
what we all look forward to, isn't it? The World Cup. You can't take it out. It's every 4 years. Everyone, waits for it and then it happens and it happens again. And, it's always been known. It's gone down in history, World Cup, winners, things like that. You can't take it out, can you? You can't come out of it. I
think you've got to take a little bit of experience and youth. if you're going to take youth, I mean, youth's going to go anyway. Like Rashford is going to go. Loftus-Cheek's probably going to go. Like a few youth players are going to go, but I don't think you can. Like I don't think we'll win anything under Gareth Southgate anyway. But obviously, like the thoughts there of what they want to do. But yeah, I don't think you can. But I don't think they would. I'd have to disagree with you. But fair to your opinion, Boz. Final question then from @Josh Yeardley. What lower league club will go the furthest in the FA Cup? So I've written down 3 teams and then you've looked at the draw.
Yeah.
The 3 teams I've sort of highlighted are Peterborough, Shrewsbury and Fleetwood. Shrewsbury obviously second in League One, good side. I wouldn't say dominated, but were the better side in the game against West Ham.
You think they'll get something outstanding?
Yeah, there's a chance. They did better at They did better than West Ham in the game.
West Ham have always,
I
think,
and they feel it's a strong team.
5 out of the last 8 seasons, West Ham have fell out in the third round of the FA Cup. So not a good position for them really.
Peterborough obviously playing at Aston Villa, good lower league side. And then Fleetwood obviously playing Leicester as well, but Fleetwood struggled a little bit this season. And then obviously Peterborough could face Fleetwood in the next round. So see how that goes. But you've looked at the draw and you've got a few different ideas.
Yeah, I have. I sort of look at it as like most League 1 or League 2. Like apart from last year when Lincoln got quite far, didn't they? Obviously, so anyway, most apart from last year, most League 1, League 2 don't really get much further than the 4th round. So really, like I looked at the fixture and it's at MK Dons Coventry, like one of them to get through. Like obviously one of them going to go through, and obviously that's going to be quite far for like someone like them. MK Dons have a chance of getting furthest there, or Coventry could easily go and get a result there.
I hope it's Coventry.
Do you?
Don't like MK Dons.
And another one is like Peterborough at home to Fleetwood or Leicester. Obviously, if Leicester, you'd like to think they should win at home to Fleetwood. And then Peterborough at home to Leicester it would be then. And then, could be a shock on the cards that, Peterborough, good side. Leicester could put out a weaker side. Leicester could have lost the game at Fleetwood with a 0-0, bore game. Peterborough, you'd like to see them a better than Fleetwood. So, going to Peterborough, putting out the same sort of weakened side Leicester, Peterborough could get a result there. So, yeah, you'd like to think. It looks like it's going to be one of MK Dons, Coventry or Peterborough.
Yeah. Well, I always sit my neck out and say Shrewsbury, but there we go. You thought about it a little bit more tactically. So that wraps up the questions today, and that wraps up the podcast today. Good chat, Jack. It's a bit of a long one today. But
good chat. It's always good.
There we go. Good. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Just Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I wish you well for your clubs that you support for the remainder of the season.
Unless you're a Swindon fan.
Unless you're a Swindon fan, obviously.
Or an Arsenal fan.
Oh, I don't even want to go anywhere with Arsenal fan.
Oh, poor Ibs.
Poor Ibs. Sorry, Ibs.
Yeah, so
have fun at uni.
We hope you did enjoy. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment down below. Follow everything in the description and all the other channels.
Don't leave one thing out. Everything.
Everything. Every single thing. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.